Welcome, everybody. My name is Brad Conrad. I'm the director of the Society of Physics Students. And today we're going to do a presentation on REUs, or hashtag how to REU. And joining me is SPS President Kiril. You want to say hi?
Hi, everybody.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and share screen. And then we are going to use a PowerPoint today to kind of go through some information, and then we'll have a Q&A after the recorded session. Okay. So this is basically the aim of today's talk is how to find REUs, how to apply to REUs, everything about REUs. No question is silly. But this also applies to many other summer internship programs that you might want to apply to this summer. Just as a little background, SPS stands for the Society of Physics Students, and Sigma Pi Sigma is the honor society. And so if you're interested in these kinds of resources or careers, grad school, things you can do at your home institution, check out spsnational.org for more information. And so just a little bit about REUs. Again, this is only going to be a short presentation, but hopefully it's everything you need to apply to and get an awesome REU this summer. And so background information. So what does REU even stand for? REU is Research Experience for Undergraduates. And it's really designed, the whole program, it's supported by the National Science Foundation through the US government, and it's designed for students with no or limited research experience. That doesn't mean if you have a bunch of research experience, you can't apply, but it's designed so that you don't need it in order to apply. And there are sites located all across the United States. Kiril will show us some of those in a second. But it's not just for physics. It's for physics and astronomical studies and chemistry and geology and mathematics and engineering and a bunch of different fields. These positions are competitive. So if you apply to one, many other students will be applying as well. And the sites, we'll talk a little bit about that, how the sites match the researchers with the students that want to do the research. But in general, the sites are about 10 students each site. It does vary a little bit from site to site. And the goal of these is really to provide an authentic research experience, because as all of these fields of science and mathematics and engineering, they're experimental sciences. So we need to really do things with our hand and computer and theory and stuff in order to really develop skills that we need to succeed as professionals in the workforce. And speaking of the workforce, these experiences aren't just, oh, go work in the lab for 40 hours a week. Often accompanying them are professional development opportunities so that you can grow as not just a researcher, but as a scientist and somebody that will work in the workforce. So like there'll be opportunities for you to present research, to meet people, to interact with each other, and develop skills that will help you down the road. And so I'm going to go ahead and turn over screen sharing capability to Kiril, and he's going to kind of show us what it's actually like if you were to go to the NSF REU website.
All right. Thank you, Brad. Again, hello, everyone. This is a wonderful session. I feel very strongly about the importance of this session. The research experience for undergrads is a great opportunity for you guys to get experience that will help you figure out what you want with your life later on, as well as if you're thinking about grad school, will help you to get into grad school. So what I'm doing here, I'm just looking for REUs using Google. I guess I already did this, and we go to the REU website. It's very simple. Brad had a screenshot of it there. So there's a sort of site there. You can actually go and do the search. So a couple of things I would like to mention. Well, first of all, I am professor of physics at Cleveland State, and we actually run an REU program a few years ago. And so I have a first-hand experience with that. So you guys can ask questions, and I'll try to stick around to answer those. But I would like also to point out that, well, we are Society of Physics students. So this is Society for Physics and Astronomy students, right? And we strongly advocate for this. However, if you search through the site, you can find many of the positions available for students in physics in different REU positions in different fields. So so we can go to the search for an REU site, and you can see here the whole set of different REU site types. So Brad will be talking in quite detail about the physics and astronomical sciences. Physics by itself has 73 or 74 sites listed there. This is a great resource. As Brad said, they're extremely competitive. However, there are quite a long list here of other places. So I would like to just point out this particular thing to you, because very often physics students think that physics REU for physics students can be found only under physics, and this is a big misconception. Our REU, which was run from the physics department, was right here in the material research. So I click on the material research. Let's just go down the list, and I don't think you should be very surprised to find out that, well, the very first REU placed here at Alabama A&M says optics and space science, and this is actually very typical. In fact, the material research branch, as you can see, has its own 78 sites, REU sites, and there are a variety of those across the country. And I did make several important links to you just to show off the some of the sites. You can browse by the site location, so you can do it like this. You can also do you can also look at the particular university location. So a couple of things that I prepared for you guys here. So just a few sites that I really appreciate. This one, this is close to me. This is in Worcester, Ohio. This is the physics department. This is actually, oh, my apologies. This site has been run. This is one of the oldest sites in the country. By the way, our REU program is one of the oldest NSF programs, continues to run since 1987. Many of you have not been born yet at that time, right? And actually, there was a similar program with a different name before 1987. So there is a research fund Undergraduate supported by NSF since 1958, I believe. So anyway, this particular site, this is a Worcester physics department, right? Worcester is a small liberal arts school in Ohio. And it is one of the longest running REU sites, which is listed not under physics, has never been listed under physics, but listed under material science, okay? Another one, this one is a BU, okay? BU physics, and it actually says BU, Boston University physics, but it's not really cited under physics. It is cited under material science, and you can see there's a variety of cool projects there as well. So material science would be one potential direction that you might want to look at. Another one, and I have a few other prepared for you here. So this is, I believe, Liquid Crystal Institute at Kent State. This one seemingly is really removed from us physicists completely, right? This is chemistry. This is not even material science. This REU site is listed under chemistry. Now, how do I find those sites? I really just went and browsed through the NSF website and clicked on this. And this is the corresponding REU site for the Kent State Liquid Crystal Institute, and there are faculty here, mostly from chemistry, but if you look, for example, Dr. Lavrentowicz, this is a very cool physics problem, how liquid crystal patterns can command living matter. Those are physicists studying the problems in liquid crystals. So again, in chemistry, seemingly very far removed from astronomy and physics, you have some sites which take in physics. And I know from direct interaction with these people that they do take physics majors as well. So going back a little bit, I would like to highlight a couple of other important directions where you can look for sites. Engineering is another one, right? If you look for the engineering, and if we, so I think I clicked on engineering here, and if I go, for example, to the state of Massachusetts, and I look for the REU site here, so I guess I should really just go to maybe somewhere here, and I apologize, my computer is a little bit slow here. So Worcester, Mass, this is my alma mater right there. This program is under engineering, and if you click on this REU site, you can see that it will redirect me to the WPI REU site. And you can see that, well, this is a very nice program on developing clean energy future. And this program is run by a physics professor, and half of the faculty running this program are physics faculty too. So again, the point is that under engineering header, under the material science header, under chemistry header, you have lots of programs which can be accessible to physics majors. And the last couple that I would like to bring up here, which are a little bit less common in my experience, but I had direct experience with some of our CSU students. So one would be in atmospheric and geospace sciences, okay? And so there are some climatologists, and they actually look for physicists, for physics majors to participate in those REU programs. And another one, I had a student who works in my lab right now, and he graduated from the REU program in ocean sciences. And this is very cool. And he went to this particular program at the California State University, Monterey Bay, studying the physics of the undercurrents on the Pacific coast. So this is actually pretty cool exposure to physics major. He actually wants to be now, he wants to go and study the physics of oceans from this point on. So this is a great introduction point for students to try out different types of research. And again, these types of research are not necessarily hidden under the physics header. That's basically my most important point that I want you to take from that. So with this, I'll stop sharing, let Brad to go with the rest of his presentation.
Thank you, Kiril. And just to voice that, I, as a physics student, did REUs in the summer. I did some programs, and I, as a physics student, was in non-physics summer internship programs. So that is a very common thing to do. And I ended up getting my PhD in physics, so that doesn't necessarily impact your career trajectory in a way that you can't then go on and stay in physics, because some people do think that that's a thing. So what I wanted to do is sort of dispel some common myths that people might have about REUs, just kind of like, so we're all starting from the same plane. So first of all, in fact, I think at all or almost all REU sites, a majority of them are seeking students from outside of their institution. And in fact, many REU sites are trying to pull in a whole lot of people from outside their institution. So that's really important to them. So if you're a student in California, it's good that you should be applying to REU positions across the country and in different states. That is expected, and that's what the REU sites are looking for. Second fact, REUs pay you a salary, so you are paid to do this research. So we all like American currency to do things with. And so they're going to pay you about $600 a week on average. Each site might have a slightly different salary amount, but that's sort of the standard going rate for REUs. And often they also provide you housing near the site as well. So you not only are getting paid to work there, but if it's in a different area and you don't live there, you can actually stay there and get paid to work there, which is really cool. The dates and times do vary between REUs, so there is some variance, but in general, it's over the summer, and in general, they're about 9 to 10 weeks. It depends a little bit, and sometimes they are flexible, sometimes they're not. You have to work with the individual REUs on that. Most REUs do include travel or travel funds to go to and from the REU site. So even if you don't have any money, they will have money for you to go to the place, to live there. They will pay you a salary, and then they'll pay for you to go home at the end. So it's everything you might need to do the REU. And in physics alone, there are 74 sites, at least that's what the website said this morning. And there are literally hundreds of other sites that you can apply to under astronomical studies, geology, engineering, chemistry, that physicists and physics majors do work at and are affiliated with. And one important fact which come to at the end is REUs are NSF funded. There are programs at national labs and at companies and at universities that are similar, and often they get lumped in with REUs. They might be a little bit different, but you should definitely consider looking at those as well. And so the general application process is very simple, hence not a lot of words on the slide. In general, they just need some basic information about you. Then they want some more detailed things about your class preparation, your training, the skills that you might have. And then the important bit, you're going to have to write something. For almost every application that I've seen, you're going to have to write to a prompt. There'll be some prompt they want you to answer a question or to talk about yourself in some way or to know why you're going to apply. That's really important. And I'll come back to that in a second. Then you're also going to have letters of recommendation that are required for you to get the position. So to be part of the competition to see if you can get the position is the essay and the letters of recommendation. They're really important. And the standard number is 2. Sometimes they require 3 or 1. And then you'll also have to upload either a whole bunch of information or your resume or your CV or something along those lines. So I'm going to hand it back over to Kiril just for real quick, but Kiril, could you say maybe just for like 30 seconds, 60 seconds, how are the applications viewed from your point of view?
Yes, so I guess as Brad described, there's a whole package. And in this package, you need to describe what you're doing. It is very often the case, and with our REU, it was the case, that we're looking for students without research experience. So it is not expected that you have research experience. And so then it becomes somewhat of a problem of sorts, that you need to show off your good side without really necessarily having research experience, right? If you have research experience, then it's relatively easy. So what my suggestion would be for you is to explore several research projects at the REU site that you're applying for. Explore the research directions that faculty are going to pursue with students at those REUs. And think if anything really interests you, and try to do your homework. And in your application, just decide which particular project is of interest to you, and try to figure out why it is of interest to you, and have this explained in this essay. Those types of applications definitely were much more successful than the applications that would just say, well, I would like to be part of a REU and like to, let's see, work with Professor ABC, going down the alphabet, right? So you need to do your homework, figure out the project you want to work on, and explain why you want to do that. And of course, in this application, you also want to highlight your strength. So maybe academic strength, right? But also, maybe your work experience, maybe your interests as well. So those would be few things that I would highlight.
And just to recap, most of the sites are looking for students that have limited or no research experience. So it's not bad that you don't have the research experience. That's why REUs exist, is to help students get these research experiences.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I'll go back to the slide, and then we'll have plenty.
If you do have research experience through a project, don't hide it. Right? I mean, it's if you've done some sort of research project, taking a class or independent study, definitely talk about it.
Yeah, so you definitely don't need to hide anything, but if you don't have that experience, that you still should apply. And so this is my opinion. This is just my pure opinion, but what they're looking for when they're going through is they're going to look at the school you're coming from and your major and your GPA and the skills that you have. That's sort of a baseline, sort of the background information by which they view the applications. But the most important thing is your letter, the letter that you write, and we'll talk about how to write a really good letter in a second. Your letter, the thing that there's a prompt, you have to answer it, you need to spend time in making that really awesome. And just as important are the letters of recommendation. And again, it varies from school to school, how many letters, but you want letters that really can talk about you on a personal level in a very detailed way. And then if you've done research experience, or you have leadership experience, or you've done activities at school, basically things that you've done outside the classroom, those help provide some context for who you are. And so the classes that you take do matter. And if you have any papers or you've presented research or posters, that's great, but that's not, that does not make or break anything. What really is important is your letter and your letters of recommendation. And so a little bit about the essay for the internship. So this is the one thing that you have direct control over in this moment in time. Your grades, they don't change every day. They change every 6 months or so, right? But your letter is something that you can spend a lot of time on and really hone and get really well. So what I recommend is things that they're looking for, and this is some advice that I've talked to people who review REU applications a lot, some things that they wanted to share with you. They want to know, are you likely to go on and stay in science and engineering or grad school or career? That's something that some people might be looking for. Are you interested in science and engineering as a career? That's something that they might try to glean from your letter. A really important piece for many applicants is why is this specific program a good fit for you specifically? So that means looking up individual people that are doing research there, the individual topics, the area, the whole shebang. Why is that good for you? And vice versa, why are you a good fit for that program? So you want to tell them that you really want this opportunity for X, Y, and Z reason, and they should want you for this opportunity for alpha, beta, gamma reason. And most importantly, you know how when you're reading a letter, you can tell if it's a form letter or a personal letter. You definitely want it to come across as a personal letter, like something that you spent time on and is tailored to that institution. So be expressive and specific and heartfelt. Make it who you are and really show them who you are. And you can name drop people at the institution that you might want to work with, because that's always good. And don't be vague, be specific. And so the words that I got drilled into my head when I was writing these, and they kept telling me over and over again, and maybe it'll help you, is show people things, don't tell people things. So instead of saying, I love research, show them an example of why you love research. Or don't say, I can program in Java, show them an example of how you can program in Java, these kinds of things. And the last piece of advice is, and this is the most frustrating, you need to have people review your letter. So give it to 3 people that you know will tear it apart and write lots of red ink on it and help you to form it, because the better that letter is, the better your chance. And then for your letters of recommendation, you got to get 1, 2, or 3 letters. So what you want is you want people that know you well academically, and you did well in their class. So you may know somebody really well because you took them for 4 classes, but you didn't do so well in their class. Maybe not use that person. But definitely people who know you well academically, and you want that could be 1 letter. Or you could another tact is to have people that know you really well outside the classroom, and that could be for a variety of reasons, such as sports or clubs or leadership or volunteering or working around the department, or research setting. So if you've done research with somebody, even, or a special project, whatever it is, you probably want to get them to write a letter for you. And you'll want to ask them if they will. Don't assume that they will. That's just a good tip there. And so some good examples are multiple class professors, research advisors, club advisors, or if you're a freshman or a sophomore, maybe even a high school teacher that knows you really well, or the department chair or something like that. Kiril, would you agree with that?
Yes.
And so if you're looking for help on how to write these letters, we have a free resource called the Career Toolbox. It was actually made with funding from NSF. And so you can use the QR code there and it will take you there, or you can type in this URL or just search Career Toolbox SPS, and you can download the PDF for free. It's like 80 pages and it walks you through how to make an awesome cover letter and an awesome resume. And then you might be curious how COVID influences all this, because maybe you weren't able to be in the lab for the last 6, 9, 12, 18 months because of COVID. We've talked to people that look at graduate school applications and REU applications, and those QR codes will take you to some articles by those folks. But in general, you just want to have a really compelling narrative and show your passion, and you want to make it personal. So if you don't have the research opportunity when you're applying for these things, that's fine. Just tell them about things that you have done to further your education and show them why you're really passionate about doing this REU. And so you might be curious where you can find not just REUs, but other summer experiences. So you can go to the first QR code that'll take you to the NSF portal with all of the links for all of the different physics, astronomy, chemistry, engineering, all the different REUs you can apply for. But it's at the nsf.gov website. The Department of Energy has their own set of internship experiences. So I put a link to that's the second QR code there, and there's 17 different labs that you can apply to work with there. I will do a shout out to the Nist Summer Undergraduate Research Fellowship Program. I did that as an undergraduate and loved it. That's a big program. They take lots of students, and that goes in physics, engineering, fire, computer science, whole gamut of things. NASA also has a wonderful program that I highly recommend. U.S. government agencies such as Army and Navy have internship programs. And also, this might not be on your radar, many universities have a program that's local, and sometimes they focus on students that are not from that institution. So just kind of keep that in mind. So these are sort of a whole lot of options for you to kind of look at when you're looking at REUs and related summer internship programs. We also have one through SPS. The application is actually due tomorrow. So if you're looking for one more to apply for, you can start the application process tomorrow and make sure you get your letters in by the end of the weekend. But our program is focused on a whole breadth of experiences from research through outreach and education and a bunch of other things. So a good one to apply for. And I just wanted to just real briefly, just in case you're a senior or a junior and you're thinking about careers in grad school, if you're looking at places to look for graduate programs, Grad School Shopper is a great resource. It's free for students. It's got a lot of information for students about graduate programs. AAS has a great list of the astronomy and astrophysics grad programs, has all the links, all the places that you might want to apply for and look at. And then whether you're looking for a job or whether you're looking to go to grad school, a lot of these resources can also help you get REUs. But I put the two QR codes. One is to our collection of graduate school resources, and if you're thinking about grad school and if it's for you. And then the other one is for careers, so just advice on career options, what you can do with a bachelor's degree in physics, astrophysics, astronomy, or engineering. And just as a quick shout out, we have, because of COVID is a thing and is still impacting lots of students and faculty. We do have an undergraduate education pandemic assistance program. So if you've been negatively impacted by COVID, we have a limited number of $1,000 scholarships, and those are given out on a rolling basis. You can apply by going to the SPS National website. And then we also have a program for student clubs to start food pantries. So we'll give $300 grants to your student club to start a food pantry for your department. And all of that is due through the SPS website. And we have lots of scholarships that are also available in March 15 as well. And just as a quick reminder, we are doing a big meeting for undergrad physics and astronomy majors in October in Washington, D.C. There'll be a lot of great folks there, and there'll be tours. We're going to have Nobel Prize winners. It's going to be an awesome experience, and this conference is unlike anything you've ever experienced because it's directly for undergraduates. Take a look at the website and the link I'm providing here, or you can search Physics Congress 2022 in Google. And so I just wanted to thank you. We'll stop the recording in a second. I just wanted to say we're at SPS. We're here to help you with whatever it is you might need help with. So visit us at spsnational.org, or if you can't find the resource, email us at sps@aip.org, and we'll get you whatever you need, including cool spherical cow stickers. You can connect with me, and it's been really great talking to you all. So we'll go ahead and stop the recording now.